Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In today's video I've got two stories for you and both of them have updates. Now if you're enjoying my videos and you want to see them on your home feed every day, then go ahead and click that subscribe button and also that notification bell right next to it. Now let's get started with today's first story. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user BirdComplete5. Found out that before I, 19 male, met my girlfriend, 20 female, I hooked up with two of her best friends, 21 female, and I'm afraid to bring it up. Ugh, this sucks so much. I just found out and I'm low-key freaking out. We've been dating for 3 months and it's been going very well. We try to see each other as much as possible, 2 to 3 times a week, and we text every day. We started sleeping together about 5 weeks ago, and overall, we are very satisfied with our relationship. I don't want to take things too fast, but I definitely see us moving in together in the future. This is my first real romantic relationship, by the way. My girlfriend had a boyfriend 2 years ago, but that's it. So, my problem started when yesterday I came over to her place since we're spending the weekend together. We were just casually talking over dinner and she started talking about a party that's coming up next week and if I wanted to come with her as her boyfriend. We are official and all that, but we haven't really attended any social events together and she has only met one of my buddies and I haven't met any of hers. I asked her who was coming to the party and she told me a few names. She said it would be fun and that her friends could finally meet me. My heart dropped when she mentioned 2 particular names. I will call them Alaya and Bremnia. Alarm bells were going off in my head. Both of these friends have pretty rare names. I went through her social media and sure enough, it was them. So who are they? Well, about 2 months before I started dating my girlfriend, I started going on Tinder to meet new people. I matched with Alaya and Bremnia, and well, I slept with both of them. I lost my virginity to Alaya. Alaya just wanted a one-time thing, but I hooked up 2 more times with Bremnia. She wanted to keep it going, but around this time, I met my girlfriend for the first time ever, so I broke it off. I am trying to keep myself cool, calm, and collected right now, but I'm all over the place. I don't want to meet her friends. She had no clue, but noticed that I was acting weird, and I just told her it was nothing. I can't imagine what she will think or do, and how extremely awkward it's going to be. I want to tell her before she finds out through her friends. I don't even know if the friends know that it's me, assuming she hasn't shown a picture of me. And now that I think of it, I don't think she even has one of me, but still. I really feel like holding this back from her can cause a lot of damage if it eventually comes out. I really have no clue how to approach this. I'm lost. Well, OP, it sounds like you've got a clock that's ticking because that party's in a week. And I think that the longer you wait, the worse it's going to get. Because if you tell her like 5 minutes before the party, yeah, that's not gonna go down well. So in my opinion, you gotta tell her like now, as soon as possible. And just be honest, you didn't know they were her friends at all. Like it's not like you were planning on this. It's just a stupid coincidence or a very bad luck coincidence and that's it. I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of. So you just need to sit there, put your big boy pants on and tell her everything that happened. And don't leave anything out. Like you don't need to give her specific details of how each night was or how every time that you hooked up with them was or anything like that. But you cannot trickle truth her because her friends are probably going to tell her everything. Maybe they will give her the details, but I don't think she expects details from you. What she does expect from you is to be honest and truthful, or else trust will be harmed. And then it can only go downhill from there. And what do you guys think about OP's situation? How would you deal with it? Let me know in the comment section. And now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. Numbers says, it's definitely worth mentioning to her beforehand. You didn't do anything wrong, but it's just good for her to be aware of. I know I would want to know just for the sake of not having things feel awkward or not feeling like something is being hidden from me. You might consider bringing it up with something like, with the party coming up, I just wanted to be honest about something just so you're aware of it. It was before we met and I want to be open with you so it doesn't cause awkwardness or tension in the future. And Opie responds, I will tell her, hopefully this weekend if I can bring myself to actually do it. It's just such a crappy situation all around. I deeply regret it now, but there's nothing I can do about it. Cookie Monsieur says, quote, I definitely see us moving in together in the future. My first real romantic relationship, end quote. These are the most important things here. You want a relationship. You want it to have a proper foundation in honesty and trust and respect. That is far more important than the temporary awkwardness of the party, and even more important than the temporary but intense hurt that your girlfriend will experience when she finds out. So, I think as you prepare to tell her this weekend, you have to prepare her by saying something along the lines of, quote, we're both inexperienced with relationships, but when you know, you just know. And that's how I feel about us. I see us being a real couple for a long time, but there's something important I have to tell you. This will hurt to hear. Alaya and Bemnia are two people I know from before I met you. Maybe you even heard about me from them in a different context. Before I met you, I slept with Alaya once and I slept with Bemnia 3 times. I want to go to the party, but before the party, you have to know the history between us. What I truly want is for us to be a couple. You're going to say it in your own way, and don't be surprised if she actually takes it in a really calm way at first. That's shock. Over the course of the week, she will feel hurt, and that's where you have to be the strongest and most patient version of yourself. Does this make sense to you? And Opie responds, I am really worried about her reaction. I know I have to tell her now, but damn, I'm not looking forward to it. She will be hurt for sure. I think the awkwardness is going to always be there if it works out. But thank you for this. This is very helpful. I'm going to roughly follow what you said. I hope it can soften the blow. I just want to get it over with now. I want to support and be there for her after I tell her. Obiterdicta says, your girlfriend will find out, so you can control how she finds out. Demonstrate that she can trust you because you are upfront and honest with her even when the topic is difficult, or you can wait for someone else to tell her and deal with inevitable negative fallout. And Opie responds, I realize that now. I am going to tell her myself because I agree. It won't go well if she finds out through them. I'm just hoping she can handle this. Alright, well, the advice all went in the same direction. OP needs to own this and just be honest and upfront with his girlfriend, and he understands this. He's just dreading doing it. But, you know, it's a good test to character. Now, we don't have any edits or additional context, which means we move on straight to the update to see how this story ends. But before that, if you're enjoying this video so far, please go ahead and click that like button. It really does help. Now, let's carry on with that update. After some thinking and gathering a lot of courage, I told my girlfriend we needed to talk. She was pretty confused and already knew something was up because she notices that kind of stuff. I started off by saying that she means a lot to me and that I love her. I don't know if this was too soon or not, but it seemed like a good time at the moment. She immediately told me she loved me too, and we hugged. It felt pretty damn good. I told her that I had something important to tell her and that it would probably hurt, but to please hear me out. She looked pretty concerned at this point, but I carried on. I said that prior to meeting her, I had some encounters with her friends Alaya and Bemnia, but that it's in the past now. She didn't understand and looked even more concerned, and I got embarrassed as hell, but I told her straight up that I had met both of them through Tinder and that we had done some stuff. She looked at me in disbelief, stammered a bit, and asked me if I was joking. Unfortunately, I wasn't, and I carefully explained to her what happened, and she went quiet again and just looked at me. I noticed she was on the verge of crying, so I hugged her and she busted out in tears. She hugged me very tight and it honestly broke my heart. I felt so terrible. I held her for a long time, and eventually she calmed down and asked for the details. I didn't really want to talk about this, but she really wanted to know, so I gave in. She probably would have found out from her friends anyway, so I told her everything. I doubled down that it meant nothing to me anymore, that I was with her to stay, and that I only want her and nobody else. She told me it was okay, but that she needed some time to process it. I told her I would do anything to help her. We ended up cuddling all night and watching some Netflix. Later, she told me how much she appreciated it, so there's that. She got a little bit emotional a few more times the past week, but she handled it like a champ. I made sure to show her that I loved her and took her out to dinner. The party was yesterday, and that went okay too. Alaya had no clue I was my girlfriend's boyfriend up until I saw her at the party, and we were pretty awkward together. Bemnia had her suspicions and was really cool about it. We ended up talking with her for a great deal of the night, and we shared some laughs. In retrospect, I shouldn't have done that. As I said in my previous thread, I didn't know any people at the party, as it was mostly my girlfriend's circle of friends. Also, my girlfriend was part of our conversation most of the time, so I thought it was all cool. Again, this was my bad. Afterward, my girlfriend told me she would prefer it if I didn't interact too much with Bemnia, which is completely understandable. I shouldn't have done that in the first place, but I'll definitely not do that again. Overall, I think it went pretty well, and I'm so glad I told her myself. It could have gone way worse. Then yesterday, she was basically interrogating me, asking what I liked about Alaya and Bemnia, if they were prettier, if the sex was better and all that. I just hugged her and remained cool, telling her that she had absolutely nothing to worry about and that she was the only girl for me. And I made sure to say she's way better in every aspect than either of her friends. I also emphasized that I feel a special connection with her, not her friends. She apologized for barraging me with questions and got a little bit emotional, but I said all was cool and that it was okay. Cuddled a bit with her afterwards, and she seemed to be fine when we went to sleep. Thanks y'all, cheers to a happy ending. I feel a stronger bond with her for sure. Alright OP, everything is right with the world. Communication and honesty really worked out well here. The only thing, and as you recognized, is why did you have to talk to that girl for so long? Man, while I was reading that part, in my head I was like, no, in slow motion. Anyways OP, seems like your relationship is doing great and only good things looking up in the future. So thank you so much for sharing and take care. And now let's move on to the next post that, like I said in the beginning, also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Relationships and it's by user Deleted. My 21 female ex-boyfriend 29 male who I am seeing again says I'm uptight and say no to everything when actually I'm just not taking crap now. Pretty much as the title says, we're seeing each other again. We were together for 3 years but broke up 7 weeks ago. Since we broke up, I haven't been taking his crap anymore, so he thinks I've changed and I'm stone cold as well as uptight and say no to everything. On Thursday, he asked me what I was doing this weekend. I said I was meeting my friends for a couple of hours on Saturday, then was going to a friend's on Saturday night. On Friday, he told me he took Saturday, the next day, off work, so we should do something. I politely told him I was not going to cancel on friends, but that we could figure something out to hang out. He was slightly annoyed that I didn't move my coffee with my friends from 2:30 p.m. to earlier in the day so that we had more time together. But he didn't press it too much. The fact that he took a day off work after I told him I was busy and a day before, then got mildly pissed about it, annoyed me. Today, I told him I was going to work at 11 a.m., then see my friends at 2:30 p.m. and he could join at about 3 if he fancied. After 3 p.m., I was all his for the rest of the weekend. Right now, it's about 1 p.m., so I've got an hour to get my stuff together for this evening and also get into town to see my friends. He starts flirting with me over text, then suggests I drive to his house for a quickie, before I see my friends. This annoys me because now I feel like I either have to please him, inconvenience myself and drive over to his place, or say no and feel the splashback. I say no because I don't have enough time to do everything I need to do. And sure enough, he says, "You're getting boring in your old age." I told him that this was one of those times that I was frustrated because he made me feel like I didn't have a choice. Either appease him or get called boring, and he already knew my schedule. He tells me I'm becoming uptight and he's just trying to have a bit of fun. I said, "How can you expect me to just drop everything and drive over to yours straight away?" And he said, "Because that's what lovers do." No, he's absolutely wrong. That's not what lovers do. Lovers respect each other. And you already told him what you were going to do, OP. Honestly, it sounds like you don't like this guy very much. I wonder, why did you get back together with him? You had already dated for 3 years and you broke up for a reason. Why are you back with this guy? Regardless of his kind of selfish style of being a boyfriend, it certainly doesn't suit you now that you're not taking any of his crap and you want to do your own thing. Again, I ask, why did you get back together with him? If I was in your shoes, OP, I would probably understand that I really don't want to be with this guy and just end the relationship. I think that's what you should do. And what do you guys think OP should do, or how would you handle it? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they said. DRH Des says, "Sounds like in your time off you matured and are standing up for yourself. He's upset because he can't control you anymore. You're not uptight. He doesn't like the change because it undermines his authority over you. Maybe you have surpassed his maturity level and it's time to evaluate if you want to continue the relationship at all." Wandering Dev says, "Getting back together is rarely a good idea. You have a large age gap. That generally means there is a power imbalance that the older person enjoys. You're taking back your own power, which is absolutely appropriate, but which diminishes his, so he doesn't like it. Dump him and find someone who wants you for the strong woman you're becoming, not the compliant one you used to be." But Uranus says, "You started dating him when you were 18 and he 26. Something tells me that your prior naivete and malleability was part of your appeal to him. This is not something wrong with you, but with him. He doesn't want a partner who stands up for herself." Note his joke about you getting boring in your old age. In another context, that'll be playful. In this context, he's portraying that your value to him is your youth. And Ethel Fleda says, "You are not being petty or uptight. What you are is someone who is ready for a grown-up relationship with a partner. In other words, at 21, you are too old for him. Time to go back to being exes and find someone who is mature enough to date you." Well, the community agrees. This relationship should no longer be happening. Now, OP didn't reply to any comments, so that means we move on straight to the update to see how the story ends. So, I finally broke up with him about an hour ago. I had a few moments where I was really certain that I would break up with him because when I was with him, I was having a crap time. But when I got home, it all faded and I couldn't remember the reasons well enough. So I thought, oh, it might be different next time. But in the end, I stopped pretending to myself that the spark hadn't gone. He tried to fight me on my decision, telling me that the reasons I was stating weren't real reasons. He went through various phases during the 45-minute conversation, where he was sad, crying inconsolably, bitter, and saying things like, "You'll never find someone like me, hopefully. This is it now, I'm moving on and forgetting about you. And you'll regret this for the rest of your life." I agree. I could have treated him better in the last 1 to 2 weeks. It was terrible. I just didn't have it in me to make a real effort, and it showed. He ended up deciding that we needed to call each other whenever we wanted to communicate because we miscommunicated badly over text. That frustrated me. He told me that I was giving him a taste of his own medicine, but that he felt it was unnecessary. He said he couldn't believe how I could act so in love with him and stare longingly into his eyes when I was with him, yet be so cold and heartless when we were apart. From my point of view, I was withdrawn when I was with him, and I was looking into his eyes because he was looking into mine, and I didn't know what to do. I think he kind of idealized our meetups in his head. They stressed me out a lot. I feel pressured when I talk to him, but that's something I can never explain to him. I do feel pretty bad right now, more because I feel like he's going to get drunk at a club and F someone or similar. Also because I know he is heartbroken. Obviously, I could do the same, but that really isn't my motivation. I'm far from gutted just because he changed, but not enough. And because he seems like he's convincing himself to hate me so that he feels better. He said he never wanted to speak to me again and that he wouldn't be here when I come crawling back in a few months. The good news is that I have just accepted a great job with a salary that I'm chuffed with. And I'll be moving to a capital city about 1 hour away soon. I'm looking to throw myself into the new city and join clubs, make friends, etc. Well, OP, it seemed like a very turbulent relationship, so it's a good thing that it's finally over and you're also gonna get a fresh start in this new city. So all that there's left to say is thank you so much for sharing, OP, and take care in the future. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out, so here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button.